Okay, so how to find elite setters before your competitors do. The appointment setting hiring framework. So, how top coaches, businesses, agencies identify and hire elite appointment setters before anyone else. I own Apex Setting. My name's Adam. I run apexsetting.com. We basically source, interview, hire, train, manage setters for businesses, for coaches, for agencies. And I'm going to show you the inside information of what you need to know. So let's go through the first slide. Most businesses don't have a hiring problem, they have a sourcing problem. So most founders post a job, they wait for applicants, they interview a handful, and they hope for the best. The best setters rarely appear through this process. So the passive approach is you post a job, you wait for applicants, you interview a handful, and you hope for the best. The hard truth is A players are found. They're not waited for. Elite setters are rarely browsing job boards. If your entire strategy is inbound, you're competing for basically leftovers. Okay? Next is hiring from applications alone. Most founders only evaluate people who apply, which dramatically shrinks the quality of the candidate pool from the start. It fails because A players are often already employed, top talent isn't actively job hunting, and you compete with everyone else for the same shit pool, small pool. Where to source proactively. So you want to go on LinkedIn, Instagram, referrals, Facebook groups, and your network. So if you don't have a network, stick to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, and referrals. Yes, you can go on Upwork. Yes, you can use these freelancing websites, but you're just going to be competing for people who are not very good. So you want to make sure you have a habit of constantly sourcing. Us at apexsetting.com, we basically look and we're always sourcing and always looking for new setters every single day. Even when we have 25 setters who are already in our logs, we're still looking for more setters. Next is mistake number 2, prioritizing experience over ability. So years in the role rarely predict future performance. The metrics most founders chase are the wrong ones entirely. So they're chasing the wrong metrics. What most founders look for, they look for years of experience, famous clients or brands, volume of call books and stuff like that. What actually makes sense is, are they coachable? Can you train them, right? It doesn't matter if they're good for someone else. Are they going to be good for you? Are they going to listen to you as their boss? Adaptability. Can they adapt to your type of business and different types of businesses that they're setting for? Are they genuinely curious about the role? Are they actually interested in the job? Are they critical thinkers? Can they think outside the box, or do they just need a script that you're going to give them to follow? Do they persist? Do they send one message and leave it, like some people do, just to get the job done? Or do they actually follow up and actually care about the job enough to grow, enough to book some calls? So mistake number 3 is interviewing too few candidates. The problem is most founders interview just 3 to 5 people with no benchmark. You have no idea what great actually looks like. So what you need to do is interview 20 to 50 candidates minimum. Get a huge amount of volume so you have huge perspective, and A players then become unmistakably obvious the moment you've seen enough candidates to compare them to. So takeaway from that is volume of interviews. Next is hiring the best talker. Setters are professional communicators. Many will interview brilliantly because persuasion is literally their craft. Great interview doesn't equal a great performance you're being sold to. Why this is dangerous? You're hiring someone whose entire job is persuasion. A polished interview doesn't tell you anything. Not that they can convert, it tells you nothing. Surface level charm is easy to fake. The better approach is use scenario-based questions to see what they say. So one of the best questions I always bring up is, a lead stops replying after showing interest. What do you do next? And based on how they think, based on the response they give, based on the options they give you of how they would respond, the type of response, maybe they give you one solution, maybe they give you 3, depending on their answer to this one question right here is going to tell you how great they actually are as a setter. So number 5 is hiring lifestyle chasers. So many candidates lead with the dream. They want money, freedom, luxury, but that motivation rarely sustains elite performance under pressure. Many people want this job offsetting so they can live their life and have fun. And that's fine, but lifestyle first candidates normally are motivated by the income, they disengage when the results are low, and they're focused on the reward, not the craft. They're going to be out there trying to have fun on a boat. But you want a nerd, a player, someone who's the best in their craft, someone who's obsessed with psychology and communication, someone who's driven to improve regardless of the outcome, and someone who actually loves appointment setting. So craft first performers consistently outperform the people who are driven by the lifestyle of making money from setting. So what to do instead is build a real recruitment system. So number 1, create a sourcing pipeline. Identify and engage candidates across multiple channels consistently. As I mentioned, Instagram, LinkedIn, Upwork you can use as well, other freelancing platforms, your network, Facebook even, Reddit, Instagram, as I said that already. But yes, all platforms you want to be looking for setters. Number 2 is recruit every single week. So make active outreach a non-negotiable weekly habit, not a one-off sprint. So you're not just looking for a bunch of setters and then leave it. You're looking for setters all of the time, interviewing setters all of the time, every single day. That's what we do at Apex Setting, by the way, and we do it because other people are too busy to do it. That's one of the things we do. Number 3 is score every candidate. So use a standardized scorecard so decisions are not objective and not emotional. So you know what you're looking for every time you have an interview. Number 4 is run practical assessments. So test real-world thinking and communication, like the message I just told you, the question I just shared with you a second ago, about if a prospect shows interest and they lose and then they stop communicating, what do, right? You want to actually run questions like that to see how the person answers, because I'm a professional at appointment setting. I've done appointment setting. I've done it for other people. I've trained other coaches. I've trained other agency owners. I've trained people on how to do this. They've got results from my work because I started appointment setting. Now I run Apex Setting and I help other people with appointment setting, and I help other businesses to hire appointment setters and to put an appointment setting system in place. And they're the kind of questions that you want. You want to ask questions that give people a real world scenario. Number 5 is keep talent pools warm. Stay in contact with strong candidates so you can move fast when roles reopen. Sometimes you're not always going to have a job for someone. You want to make sure you're always talking to the person, always in communication, so they have a good relationship with you and don't have and they're closely connected with you. While all other businesses are kind of just waiting, you're still keeping the conversation going, keeping in good, relationship with the person, with the setter. So rate every candidate across 5 core dimensions. The highest scoring candidates move forward, emotion stays out of the decision. So coachability. Can they receive feedback, adapt quickly and improve without defensiveness? Adaptability. Can they think beyond the script and respond intelligently and in unexpected situations? This is a very important thing. Many setters come into a job role to do setters and to do setting, and most of the time they're not even setters, they're just virtual assistants, and because they're virtual assistants they can only stick to a script and they only will just send whatever the script says. They can't think outside the box because they don't know what to do because they're not a setter, they're only a virtual assistant. So you need to make sure they are a setter. Communication. Can they build genuine rapport and hold a conversation with warmth and clarity? So when they're talking to the person, do they sound like a robot? Do they sound like AI? Or do they sound like an actual person who can text? And depending on your niche, depending on the kind of clients that you have, depending on the kind of audience you have, they can communicate effectively. If it's a woman's kind of health group or some kind of mental health thing or some kind of entrepreneurial thing or some real estate thing, the setter has to be able to adapt to that. Persistence. Do they follow up consistently without being promoted? Do they push through friction? Okay, so what this basically means is, do you have to constantly chase them and tell them what to do, or do they push through on their own? That's a very important quality. And you're only really going to find that by hiring someone. But you want to make sure everything else is good first. Critical thinking. Can they diagnose problems independently and act without needing constant guidance? One of the biggest problems I see is coaches that I work with, agency owners, are always dipping in trying to micromanage the setters because they need it. But they shouldn't need it. And it should be made up by you being able to train them once or twice a week. And the reason I say that is because I train my setters every single week. We make sure we're always keeping on top of them. We always make sure that they're getting regular training, regular feedback, so they're always improving. And an agency owner or a coach can't do that because it takes too much time. And that's why we do it. Anyway, next point. Your competitors hire applicants. You source talent. Elite businesses build systems that consistently uncover top performers before competitors ever meet them. So your new hiring rules are: source proactively across multiple channels. As I said, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, your network. You want to source proactively for setters across all of these, not just one. Interview at scale. So volume creates clarity. Talk to as many setters as humanly possible, then you'll know who's good and who's bad. Test thinking, not experience. So give them real world scenarios and get them to think. Don't just ask them, how long have you been setting? Ask them genuine real life scenarios. And if you don't know what those questions are, that's why people come to us, because we are able to filter out from 100 interviews who's the best setters and who's not. Who's a real deal and who's not. If you put an ad out on Upwork and you get 20 applicants, you're going to get on the phone call and everyone's going to sound good. Everyone's going to sound like they can do a good job. Everyone's going to tell you they can do setting for you and that they have all this experience, but it's all a lie. You need to be able to understand through experience what is a good setter. And most coaches and agencies don't understand what a good setter is. That's why they come to me, because I've been a setter. I have apexsetting.com now where we train setters. We source setters, we interview setters, we hire them and we manage them so they can produce results for the coach. So we know how to look for the best setters. So, and also hire traits for traits, not CVs. So forget the CV, it kind of helps, but you're going to talk to the person about real world scenarios. There's been times I've spoken with 20 people, 20 so-called setters, and only one has been on their game. Like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. And you're not going to know that they know what they're talking about if you don't understand appointment setting. If you understand coaching, even if you're making 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, and you understand setting to a point, right? You're still not going to be able to know who is an A player. And the reason I say that is because I still talk to coaches every single day who are like, I just hired this setter, I fired them, fired them, and they've done it 5 or 6 times. So then they come to us. So build and maintain pipelines. You have to make sure you're always talking to new setters, always got setters coming in, always in communication with them and always growing. So Apex Setting, which is my business, we help coaching businesses to source, hire, train, and manage elite appointment setters who turn your attention into qualified sales calls. This is my business here, Apex Setting. This is our website. These are some of the clients here. For example, tennis coach, health coach, fitness coach, business coach. And basically what we do is we have sales call booking systems. We know how to qualify the prospects, source the leads, DM appointment setting. We can train teams as well. We do basically everything when it comes to appointment setting. We know how to source the setters, interview the setters, find out which ones are the best. And this is, let me see if I can open this. This is our process here, basically. So we source the setters, we interview hundreds of them, we filter and find the top 1%. We hire and onboard them. We give them access to Instagram without sharing passwords. Very safe and convenient. We train them every single week and then we manage them to meet KPIs. So if you enjoyed that video and you want more advice like what I just showed, check out my other videos. And if you want to hire a setter or build an appointment setting system or need me to train your team, then link in bio. Talk to you soon. Bye.